Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to In My Garage. Today, I'm just going over some items on my desk, or my workbench. What we were going to do was do a fuel injection install, an ACES system on the big green Ford that I call used parts. But it hasn't got here yet. This is 9 days now out, I guess. And it was in stock. I ordered their basic kill shot fuel injection system. It was in stock according to the website, and I waited 7 days and I didn't have a tracking number, so I emailed them and I got a tracking number on the 8th day, I believe it was. So they just shipped it. I checked the tracking number. Yeah, they created the label and it's just shipped, so it's on its way here, but it won't be ready for this week. So I was just going over some of the things like the regulator for the fuel injection, because the kill shot doesn't have an internal regulator like the Sniper does. I got some Walbro fuel pumps. I really like their fuel pumps, even though it says TI Automotive. These are supposed to be Walbro, so hopefully that's what it is. I got a bunch of used hoses here. Or not used, but pieces and parts from when I was doing other fuel injection. We'll use those if necessary. I had a ton of leftover fittings from prior fuel injections. I did order some more high pressure hose. It turned out to be blue. I thought I ordered black, but that's all right. We'll use it for the return. It'll be easy to identify return hose because it'll be blue. And then I got just a little bit more of the braided hose, because I really like the braided look, the nylon braided look in the engine bay. So we'll use some of the hose I had left over, some of this in the engine bay, and all the hose will be braided in the engine bay. Also, this manifold will be going on. The tunnel ram will be coming off. I know that's sad, but a dual throttle body fuel injection system is over $2,000, like $2,250, and I paid $599 without tax for the kill shot. So it's going back to single throttle body, and I had that manifold, so that's the manifold that's going to go on it. I'm going to powder coat it. It's not going to be silver. I like the look of the black tunnel ram that's under there. But this, I'm going to make an unusual green. So I'll show that to you when I do it. And that'll probably happen before the fuel injection gets here, the way it's going. So I'm just going to assemble some of this stuff and get it ready. And then we're going to turn our attention to either the rear leaf springs in the truck, because I need to remove a few, or we're going to go over to the Nightmare Mustang and work on its rear brake system. There seems to be a problem there. There always has been a little issue from the very start. I haven't thought the rear brakes were grabbing hard enough. They're disc, they should grab pretty good, but they always seem to be lacking, and when I go to bleed them, I don't get a lot of pressure out at the bleed valve, which tells me there might be a restriction in the line. It's all new lines, well, all new lines 15 years ago, but I think we got a restriction, so we'll have to check that out. But for now, I'm just going to do this. I'll get back to you guys a little bit later, and we'll be starting on one of those two projects. So hang on, we'll get going. All right, totally different change of direction, but what do you expect? I got some powder coating in that I was waiting for, and it's I think it's called moss green or something like that. Hold on. Disco moss. Now it doesn't look green, but this is green, or so it's supposed to end up, kind of greenish. And I'm going to put it on that intake manifold that's down there. But first I got to hit it with a coat of black. So I'm going to use obsidian black at 10 minutes at 400 degrees, and that's once the part reach 400 degrees. And we'll get it gloss black. And then we'll put the moss green, or whatever it is, on there. And then if we need it, we'll put a clear coat on there. And it's a hammer tone green. So it's going to look green and black when it gets done. Because of the texture. And the texture will be kind of like what's on the big green truck, the used parts. So this manifold is going on used parts once the fuel injection arrives, but I thought, let's snazz it up a little bit. It's got a clear coat on it right now, and it's a fairly new coat, so it should be great to just put black right over it, heat it, cook that black, melt that black down, put the green on it, do it with the green, and see how it looks. Now, the instructions are not totally clear on, do I just flash the black off, let it cool, and then put the green on? Or do I bake the black all the way, then put the green on? My assumption is that I let the black flash off, which means smooth out, gloss up, liquefy, and then I take it out, and then I top coat it with the green, and I put it back in. And when the green smooths out, if it's not looking the way I want it, then I'll pull it out and put the clear on it. And then we'll bake it to whatever the clear says. That's usually the way you powder coat. But with a clear layer already on here and already cooked on, we're going to see how it turns out. Never done it before. So follow along. We'll see what happens. First, I got to tape off the parts I don't want powder coated. And that would be the studs. I was going to pull them out, but they seem to be stuck. And they're in aluminum. So I don't want to pull them out and pull the threads with them. So we'll just tape them off. Not going to hurt nothing. And then we're going to tape off the carb hat where it sits. And that's just so we get a good sealing surface there. Only reason. Only reason. Oh, it's December 30th today, or October 30th. So Halloween's tomorrow. Happy Halloween to all the ghouls and goblins. Now, powder coating is a lot like paint work in that the better you do your prep, the better the finished product. So I'm going to take my time and get this all taped off and trim it up neatly, and then I'll get right back with you. All right, I'm going to put the black on here now. I have my powder coat gun set up with about 40 pounds coming in here, only about 12 pounds coming out of the gun, or going into the gun by the regulator. The manifold's right there. I'm going to use the high setting. This is a 2-setting little system from Eastwood, and seems to work better on the high setting. And I've got the dispersion little disc here to make it poof out instead of stream out. And we'll see how that works. I'm also going to be using a mask because it's going to get pretty dusty. I have a fan running over there blowing out my door. Hopefully stuff goes that way. Usually goes that way. I don't know why. But let's give it a shot, see what happens. We had a leak around the lid right here there when I started, so I immediately stopped. Okay, we're getting a nice coat laying down, and it is going that way, so that's good. Got a little too close. If you get too close, you'll get a zap from there to your metal, whatever you're touching. I'm going to turn the manifold. And then we'll go after it some more. You can see back here that we didn't get very deep or very much. So we turn it and we'll put our clamp back on. See if we can find a spot that won't show too much. There we go. Push the button. Now I'm noticing that it's not getting in some of the tight areas. And that happens. And man, you either just got to keep laying it on, or you got to try to get it somehow down in there. I'm going to pull off the disperser and see if I can just lightly poof the powder down in there. You don't want to touch this while you're pushing this button though. That will zap you good. There we go, that's working. If you do it lightly, it's getting in there. If you go with too much pressure, you'll actually blow the powder out, not in. All right, I'm going to spin it one more time, make sure the front looks good. There's some little thin areas there. We'll just clip this on lightly. Fill those areas in. A little too much pressure there, had to back out. I'm just controlling the pressure by how much I'm pulling the trigger here. Trying to go very lightly. I think we call that good for the black. Carefully. Left a little bit of silver there, but it will fill in most likely. I'm going to get my oven open and we'll move it over. Now it's a waiting game. You tilted. Yeah, there we go. So now I get to wait about 10 minutes or so. I'll check the temperature because that part's got to get up to 400 degrees. And once it does, it's 10 minutes of flow out. But because we're going to put another coat on it, I'm just going to wait till it starts to flow out, which is when that part's hot, and then I'm pulling it out right away. And then when it's cool, we're going to hit it with the green again and see how that works. So we're going to do this all over again. I'm going to clean up my stuff. You'll see the part when it comes out, and we'll hit it again. Well, hopefully you can see down here that it is black. It is very black. It's looking good. So let's make it green now. Let's see how that works out. Using the same pressure, same everything. Same crowded garage. No diffuser this time. We'll see how that works. I usually like it for something this big, but I'm just going to try to lightly fog. Right now the manifold is about 200 degrees, so it is liquefying some of the paint. We are seeing a little bit of the color. Alright, I'm gonna just spin it and look at it with a flashlight and see if it looks like we have even coverage. And except for right in front and right there, it looks good. So let's just go a little bit more right there, and right there. Now that'll go in the oven. I'll wait till it flashes off, till it all liquefies, see what it looks like. If I think it needs to go get cleared, we'll do that. If it needs another green top coat, we'll do that. And we'll just see how it goes. So stick around. Well, it's been long enough to check the powder in our oven. It was up to 400 degrees. It has to go for 10 minutes. It's been that way. I'm going to turn the power off and we'll take a look and see what the green looks like. It's going to look black, but it should look green as well. Let's find out. Oh, there it is in there. Can you get some light on it? Yeah, it is green once you get the light on it. Very reflective and black in the background, or black as a base. I'll be really interested to see what it looks like in the sunlight. That will tell me if I'm going to leave it this way or if I'm going to do something else to it. I was hoping for a little more green without so much green sparkle, but we'll see how this looks once it's all cooled off and sitting out here, and I'll show that to you before we sign off and move on to the next thing. So you guys just hold on tight. We'll be there in a second. All right, it's definitely not a sunny day out here in the yard, but there she is. You can see it does look a bit green. It has some pretty good sparkle in it. I don't know if you can see that. Wish the sun was shining today, but it is not. So I think that's going to look good on the engine, down inside the engine bay there. And I'm going to go ahead and do the air cleaner that's going on it in the same fashion. It's going to be round air cleaner, you know. Until then, I'll see you guys later. Get out there and work on your stuff. It just got a carburetor sitting on it right now, but I thought we'd see what it looks like with the air cleaner on. The manifold is much blacker, deeper, I guess, color, and then the top is much greener. It actually looks darker than it does in the picture there, and the manifold looks lighter. This is really strange, the way the light is reflecting. But that's about how it's going to look sitting in the engine.